If you find that you are having a hard time resisting cravings, I would love for you to try a very simple two-step process that almost all of my most successful clients use in order to stay the course when those cravings do surface. And it starts with what's called the timer method, which is as straightforward as it sounds, and that when you feel those cravings come on, all you do is set a 20-minute timer. And the goal of this timer is not to deprive yourself. It's not to necessarily talk yourself out of having whatever that splurge item is that you're craving. It's just to take a moment and actually be mindful, because 20 minutes is a period that is long enough where in most cases, once you've had a little bit of time to think, you're not still going to want that splurge, but it's not so long, again, where you feel like you're depriving yourself. And the important caveat here is if you wait 20 minutes to cave on whatever a splurge is, and you genuinely still want that splurge at the end of the 20-minute mark, in most cases, I would typically encourage my clients to go ahead and have that, even if it puts them over their calories, because we don't want to operate from a place of deprivation. And I would much rather have people be mindful and use what's called a conscious splurge. That is much better than just depriving yourself for the sake of depriving yourself. That said, we need to consider step 2, which interestingly enough actually occurs during step 1 of this anti-cravings process, and that is to think about future you. So again, you start that timer, you're thinking about an hour from now, how am I gonna feel? How is Sam gonna feel an hour from now if I have ice cream in this moment and cave in? How am I gonna feel tomorrow morning if I wake up kind of bloated, a little bit lethargic? How am I gonna feel a week from now when I take my progress photos and I've been caving into splurges the entire week, not really thinking about me in this moment? And when you think about all those future versions of you, again, whether it's an hour, a day, or a week later, and you kind of put them on this hypothetical value scale, in most cases, that splurge isn't going to be worth it. You're going to want to make more decisions for all of the yous in the future than for you in this moment. Because if I challenge you to look back at the last month and think about all the memorable splurges you have, or I should say had, I guarantee you'd have a hard time coming up with more than a few. Occasionally, maybe if you're out with friends, maybe if it's like a really unique dessert or drink or something great. But in most cases, if you're just watching Netflix at 11 o'clock at night eating ice cream, you're literally gonna forget about that 2 days later. So if you keep choosing that version of you and that very fleeting, forgettable satisfaction, you're not gonna be very happy down the road. So again, the next time these cravings surface, step 1, set that timer method. Step 2, which happens during this timer, this 20-minute timer, is to think about all the versions of future you and then operate accordingly.